What is up, all y'all? Welcome back to the worm, as always. I just spent like half a day cleaning up the cabin just so I can get to my next project in there, which is finally building my bed. Of course, I got all my tools and wood scraps and everything cleaned out of the cabin, so as soon as I want to start something new, I have to go and find all this crap again. All I need is a roll of tape, which, there it is. See, look how organized I am. I've been doing my best to lay low and not exert myself too much. My broken rib is still like sticking out of my back. Doesn't really hurt, but it's so gross. It's too bad because I can't really sit because you have to lean back against the chair and it like pokes out and hits the chair, and then laying on my back does the same thing. So it's like there's nothing comfortable to do except stand up and walk around and work on stuff. And you know, that's all right as long as I don't lift anything heavy. You know, I mean, everything out here is freaking heavy when you're making all your own lumber and trying to build yourself a damn cabin. Please notice how nice and clean it is out here. Oh, I got a couple more things to put away. And look at the inside. Da da da. Remember the huge pile of lumber and crap that was there? Tools everywhere. Got two more boards still taken off the bottom of this. Just that back corner there was still like a little bit damp. So I'm gonna run a couple of fans for maybe a few more hours. Put that back together. Got most of the trim back on. Corner trim's on. Part of that I got a stick to put there. It looks so much nicer without the bottom of the walls ripped out, doesn't it? Gotta think of how to build this bed. I think I showed you guys a picture before, which is not anything like what I'm trying to build, but it's the idea. It's like the ridiculousness, just overdo it. Overbuilt, transformery kind of bed is what I'm kind of shooting for here. So the bunk slash bed is going to go this way. It's going to use that big fat like 3 or 4 inch Mondo King thermarest that I use everywhere. And then I'm sleeping here in the winter. You know, I can put it in here, take the same thing out to my tent. And of course, if I ever go anywhere, I take it with me because then it's like you're sleeping in your own bed wherever you go. And here are the parameters. It has to be high enough that I can slide 5-gallon buckets of water underneath it. So the top of it that you're laying on is going to be, of course, cedar boards. I think Tito and I milled up a bunch of 1-inch cedar boards. So that'll go, the boards will go this way. And then it's going to have some bracing underneath, sort of like 2x4 bracing. I got this 12-footer left. This is from Framing This Place. You can see, like, this one was in the same pile. All the junk on that hasn't been planed off yet. I'll finish planing that last one once I get it chopped up into pieces. So these two boards are leftovers. Those are 1.5 inches thick. And then I have a whole bunch of scraps that... what was I doing with those? I don't know. In the previous video... Oh, I was making the drying racks up here. You can see those are like the leftover pieces, you know, when I was making 2x4s. So those kind of have the live edge on the bottoms of them, and I kind of like the way they look on the drying rack, actually. So I got no problem using these weird sides on the boards, but I guess I'm going to assume that the bracing underneath the bed is 2x4s, and if it ends up being a little thinner, that's fine. So we got to do bucket height, maybe 1-inch gap, 2x4 this way, and then 1-inch cedar on top of that. I do a lot of my editing sitting on my bunk wherever I'm staying, in the man cave right now. And I do like to be leaned way back. I have one of those pillows that like wraps around for your back. That's kind of cool. I was thinking about making this so like the headboard flips out if you want to, and you have something to lean back against. And then also I have a monster space age mouse that I use for editing my computer. It'd be really cool if you had it like a little table there that was just the right height you could put the mouse on. And if you have to come out here to make a little table-y thing, I might as well make it a box. You could just like open it up. I don't know, you could put pillows or blankets or whatever inside of that. I of course built that giant desk as a work surface, but my back's not great and I can't sit like in a normal seat for a long time, so this is where I'll probably end up spending a lot of my time. Oh, one more thing it has to have. I don't know how we're gonna do this. I was just talking to Tito about this. So when my girlfriend Sarah comes to visit, I'd like to make this so it flips out double. She has a Mondo King too. You could put two of them right next to each other. So somehow this will fold out. The only problem with that is you can't build it like you're going to build this bunk with cedar boards on top and bracing underneath, because when it flipped out, you'd have a flat surface. When you flipped it back, you'd be sitting on the braces. I'd like to be able to leave it folded up in there all the time, so I'm basically always laying on top of that. So maybe what we'll have to do for the flip out part, how would you do that? I guess this could flip out, and maybe I'll have some legs I could just stick underneath it. Could even put a bolt down through it so the bolt sticks out the bottom, and then the legs would fit right in there with a hole drilled right on top of the legs. But in order to hold this all together, I think I'm going to have to do boards like this, and then an entire set of them this way as well to hold it all together and to stiffen it up. Okay, so I got to go measure my air mattress, and then I might as well make this like the width of maybe my computer, in case I wanted to set it there on one of the shelves. So the depth of the computer, width of the mattress, and then afterwards we'll figure this part out. Sheesh, it's kind of a lot to think about. Well, I'll do some measuring, and then maybe we can just tape this on the floor and see what it looks like. Alright, so thermarest is about 30 by 82, and that back shelf, in case I want to store my computer there, has to be a foot deep. 12 inches, and then 30 more is what, 42? That's 82. Let's go 84 so there's room to put that backrest against the wall there. It's going to be interesting to see now how much room this is all going to take up. Wow, that's not very big. Cool. And then with the other half flipped out. Wow, yeah, actually, that takes up a lot of the room. Well, it's just how it's going to be. That'd be the corner. I don't know if you guys can get much of a sense for how big that is on the camera here, but that's a solid third of the entire place. I mean, this way, you got 1/3. It's about exactly probably a third, but that's only now and then. That's not regularly how it's going to be flipped all the way out. So if I did stick some kind of seating situation in here, it'd have to be between there and where the door swings open, probably the middle of that circular saw case. I have to get out the generator and the circular saw, dive into the wood pile, and see what I got for newly milled giant cedar boards. You know, finally I'm doing a project where I actually have exactly the right lumber already made. Usually I get into this stuff like, I want to build a bed, and then the first step is, okay, I gotta go find some trees. Spend a day trying to find the right tree, cut it down, drag it, mill it, get rid of all the branches and everything. So it's like a week before I can actually start building this. But see, this is a reason to always get yourself a new chainsaw mill, because you want to use it, you mill stuff up ahead of time. Actually, before I start the generator and get the circular saw out, how many of these are we going to need? How are we going to do this? Oh man, these are my homemade scraps. Oh, that's actually a cedar 2x4. I wonder what I made that for. I guess this part of the bed could just be a block on the wall, as could this. And then I'll need a full length 2x4 going along here. This corner will need a foot. And I hate having another foot in the middle, especially when you need all the storage possible. Like, I'm going to keep all those water buckets under there. Just having one more foot just makes, like, I don't know, just makes it, you get the area a little more than half full, and you go to put something else in and you can't get it past that foot. I know, I got big problems. But I don't think I could span 7 feet using only a 2x4. Even if I doubled it, I think it would still have too much flex. Alright, we'll put a foot in the middle. Oh, this is gonna suck. Really cold, really windy, kinda snowy. Just get it all done at once. Some of these are gross enough. I think I'm going to plane them off just to get some of the funk. Some of this stuff will come off. Oh yeah, see the white? Ugh, real gross. Saw these weird things at the store for like $5, and I always trip over the cord and pull the thing out, and most of my cords are so whipped that they don't stay plugged in. Even if you do the knot and plug them together, they always come undone. But this thing's working great. It's almost waterproofy. I had to take one side out because this extension cord's too fat to take the rubber things out, but I don't know, I think it works pretty well so far. See the difference? Really freshes it up. Of course, it's underneath the bed, so who cares, but I don't know, I like to do it. This stuff's been sitting out for 6 or 8 months now. Looks good. Ah, don't you love that? Just think of all the possibilities. So much you can do with a stack of lumber like that. There's the wind and the snow coming out of the trees. This is kind of a not super straight log, kind of wavy. It's gonna end up with a lot of waste. These are super rough, just so I don't get splinters in my sleeping pad. I'm just going to knock the top off. I don't want to take too much off, but I should get the sharp stuff out of there. This one goes here. This one has the funny edge on it, so decided to put that in the front. That's the only one you really see. Goes there. Goes there. And these weird scraps that aren't even full pieces. Goes something like that. That work? That'll work, right? Bucket's 15. Then you got the mattress, that's another 3 inches. Is that crazy high? That's pretty high. Let's just go 20, 22? 22 for the top. Ooh, let's use the laser. Right there. That laser is actually a perfect thing for the way that I build because nothing's level or square. So if I just try to go around and measure from the floor up and screw these boards to the wall, the whole thing would end up all funky. I think I could put this whole thing together and then figure out how to hold it up there to screw it in. Let's just do it on the floor. It's funny, after you make these 2x4s, you let them all sit outside, you got to plane the junk off, and then maybe you don't use them, you leave them outside again, plane them again. This one's probably almost 1/4 of an inch thinner than a normal 2x4 just from the working over, but luckily it doesn't make any difference for this application. Hey, that looks like I did it right. There's still time to prove me wrong. Let's say we see if this thing actually fits before I put all those boards on there and chop them up. That's not too bad. Well, it's none too long. Huh. Wow. I think I meant to make that a few inches longer. I guess that's just how it's going to be. And that only leaves, like 2 or 3 inches there to fit my flip out thing. That kind of sucks. That's good. That looks like a good 12 inches or something, so I could put that box and armrest thing in there, fit some shelves. But what to do about the length? Maybe I'll just slap one more 2x4 on the end. Another 1.5 inches will help a little bit. Let's see if this will fit up there. Oh yeah. Whoa. Lots of room. Do I dare sit on it? Probably not. This is still going to be up 2.5 inches higher than this. Screw it. Let's just leave it like that. You know, something funny I can see here. Couldn't figure out if I cut this wrong. Oh yeah. Way off. This is not square because my building is not square. I forgot that's the wall that I made longer. Just because I didn't put the concrete footings in exactly the right spot, so I extended that wall by 4 inches and none of the rest of them. So it's a weird shape, and now you can see it in the bed. Yeah, that's off more than 1/2 inch. I think I gotta cut it though, because if this isn't square, then the flip out part's not gonna work right. So I'll cut that, put this in a little bit, and then put the double 2x4 on the end just to extend the whole bed a little bit more. I guess I'll only get like 3/4 of an inch more than what's there, but we can deal with it. It'll be fine. I'll probably still sleep pretty well. That's gonna suck to have those holes there. This is the only part of the whole bed you see. Yeah, it doesn't make it a whole lot better. And the worst part is, I just filled my damn boot up with sawdust. I hate when that happens. Oh, that was extra dumb, because I was going to put a piece on here. Well, maybe we'll round this one too to make it all kind of match. Got this one laying around. That is one heck of a knot, huh? Not gonna be able to use it for anything structural, but maybe I'll put the knot on the outside because it looks wacky. Do it like that. Looks like ugly 2x4s, but do we care? No. We need some feet under here. How should we do that? I'm not going to use 2x4s because that'd be wicked ugly. Maybe some logs, like I don't know, 4, 5, 6-inch logs. Ah, can't do that because I can't start the chainsaw. Temporary legs then? I have been curious to see if I can start the chainsaw with my left hand. So I don't know if you guys saw when I got the new big chainsaw, I pulled it twice and was like, oh, that was a horrible idea. I could feel my rib grinding around in there. I don't know if I could do it with my left hand. Yeah, I'll do 2x4s for now because it would be cool to get, I don't know if you guys remember the side of the cabin. Of course you don't remember because that was like 8 months ago, 10 months ago when I was doing the foundation. But the whole cabin sits on 9 or 10 posts, chunks of logs. And the one right here comes up and splits into two. Well, it's like this. Splits just like that thing does, although a lot smaller. It'd be kind of cool to do a couple of those. Or some cool swervy pieces or something. Alright, yep. I'm just going to use 2x4s until I can find something cool to stuff under there. You ever seen this happen before? I did not cut that. It was meant to be. The gods of the pine trees are smiling on me. Crap. I thought 3 boards would do it. Just gotta start the generator again. And it's snowing. Well, such is life. Yeah, the reason I didn't slice the edges off of this, I have 2 more, but they're both the super fat ones. Doesn't quite fit in here right, which would be fine under an air mattress. But again, someday when it's warm, I can take the big cleaner out and run it through there a couple times. I can feel my spine cracking just from laying down. Oh, it feels great. Man, if I move my stuff in here, I'm going to have to lift the bed pad up every morning and get some circulation out of here because this stuff is wet. I mean, it was part of a log like 48 hours ago, so yeah, it's going to have a hard time drying out with a bed pad on top. Alright, what's next? I guess I was thinking I'd build the box in the side there and the flip out back now. I think I want to make the whole flip in thing and then I can kind of build around that with whatever space is left over. So we'll see if we can piece something together. Oh man, I tell you, there are just a couple downsides to living out here like this. As yesterday, I was planning on finishing up this bed so tonight I can stay in here. I just woke up, it was like 10 degrees out. Tonight's like well below 0. Can't really stay in the man cave when it's that cold without insulation. But when I woke up, my phone, which you wouldn't think is all that necessary, no, I don't even know where it is. It was dead. So I drove out of here, went to a coffee shop with my computer, got on some Wi-Fi, did that for like 3 hours with Apple, Then the coffee shop closed. They kicked me out. I found a library, did that for like 3 more hours. They weren't able to fix anything. So I made like a many hours drive to try to get it fixed. Nope, they're not going to do it. So my only option to have a working phone, which is, email, obviously text, don't make a lot of phone calls, definitely check the weather all the time. And of course, my books, my podcast, what am I going to do? The only option was to drive. It's like round trip is maybe like 8 hours or something to even have a chance of getting it fixed. So I have no communication with the outside world. That's just fine. It does make me realize how many times a day I check the weather forecast. I think we're supposed to get like, I don't know, 6 or 8 inches of snow and have a bunch of wind. Hasn't picked up yet. It was snowing really hard a minute ago, and then it died down a little bit. I didn't want to stand out there and make my French toast and get soaked, so I rifled through all my bins to see what I could find to eat. And guess what I found again? I rediscovered what was left of my cinnamon rolls from quite a while back. And I have some frozen bagels and cream cheese, so I'll cut one of these open and put it over the heater, make it usable. They're a little hard right now. And what else I found for entertainment? One of these cheapo weather radio things with the crank to charge it up, solar panel. But I got actual radio to listen to. I mean, I assume there are radio stations up here. I don't know. I never listen to the radio. I just can't stand the commercials and the DJs and stuff. So we'll see if we get that working. Oh, actually, duh. It's a weather radio. We could check the weather. Does it work? Oh, look at like the old school antenna and everything. Gotta put my bagels on the heater first. I'm starving. Oh, yeah. I forgot I had other jackery right here, too. We're gonna have jams and advertisements all day long. Man, this place gets cluttered up so fast. I'm hoping, I'll definitely bring some stuff in here tonight. The big thing is to bring in anything that'll freeze. I had a bottle of like Gatorade in the man cave and didn't turn the heater on one day during the day when it got to like, I don't know, 20 or something. I came back, it exploded, and all this blue Gatorade Powerade is like soaked into the shelf and the floor and everything. And you can smell it. If I can smell it, the animals can smell it. So anything that'll freeze, I'm trying to think what I have in there. A bunch of water, some cleaning stuff like Windexy. Well, I don't know, we'll have to go dig through there and see and bring it all in here, put it somewhere tonight. This isn't exactly a toaster, but it is a very slow microwave to unfreeze your food. Let's just crank this sucker right up. I don't know what time I woke up. I have this weird thing in my brain. I don't know if it's from being out here so long or what. There's nobody to come in and wake me up. I don't hear any noises or anything, so I just wake up on my own. But whenever I wake up in the middle of the night or the morning, I can almost always guess the time within about 15 or 20 minutes. Like, oh, it's 1:45 when I wake up in the middle of the night, or it's got to be 5:30. I whiffed it this morning. My phone wouldn't even turn on, and I thought about it. I don't really have any clocks around here of any sort. I've got an old watch, but it was dead from the cold. Anyway, I woke up, it was like 6:30 or something. I figured it was, about to get light. I was up for a couple hours. It was still pitch dark. Pitch dark, pitch black. Not very bright out. But it took the whole 2 hours just to get that place up to maybe 50 or so. Turned both burners on in the propane stove, put a fan on it to kind of circulate stuff, and 2 hours later it was 50. So it's going to be really cool to see tonight or tomorrow morning when it's the coldest, like 6 o'clock, 6 in the morning. See what the temperature is outside and crank this thing on high, see how long it takes to get up to temperature. Almost no matter the temperature outside, I think I can get this place up to at least 60. But, don't know, never tried it, never stayed in here before, it'll be a first. Is this the one place on the planet you can't get the weather? I don't think I've ever used a weather radio when you couldn't pick something up. Maybe there's just no weather. I heard voices for a second, and it's French. Picking up Canada. This is cool. I actually don't know what this channel is. It's not AM, FM, or weather. SW? I'm sure 11 of you know what that is. I don't. It's cool, but it's very annoying. At first I heard the ticking, I thought it was Morse code, which would be really cool because I've been working on my Morse code the last couple months just for fun. 8 hours, 54 minutes. Right there. I'd use my phone and look up and see what this is, but I don't have a phone. Okay, I hear you. Quit messing with the radio and build something, you jerk. I'm about to.
Winds were from the northeast. The speed was 7 knots with gusts as high
Found
as
the weather
17
radio.
knots. Reported winds were from the northeast. The speed was 19 knots with gusts as high as 26 knots. The water temperature was 32.
Dragged a whole bunch of different size lumber in here last night before it started snowing because I didn't know what I was going to build. I think that box on the back of the bed that'll open up, I think it only needs to be, I measured sitting in there in the man cave on the bunk like 9 inches to the top, but then you have to add on the thermarest too. So maybe like 11, 12 inches high, something like that. So that's actually good. I can just use one of these boards for the side of it, and then somewhere I grabbed a thicker board too, like a 1.5 inch you can use for the top that'll hinge open. Oh yeah, this is the one. This is the one that was supposed to be 1 inch, ended up like 1.5 to 1 3/4. And even if it's not perfectly flat, I thought this would be a good use for it. It'll make a good lid. So we just need like a 9 inch. That one's fine, 9 inches. Nice, it stopped snowing for a second, so if I can get this marked up, I can go cut it outside. I don't have to get all the sawdust in here. Man, I don't want to get all the dust in here, but I also don't want to go, it's only 10 out there right now. The wind kind of died a little bit, but I'm really trying not to track any snow in here, which for whatever reason, these boots love to pack snowballs into the sole. So every time I come in, I have to like beat the bottom of them out with a crowbar. But it works so hard to get the moisture content of the wood and everything in here down to, what is it now, 50%. Just tracking in like throughout the day, getting the snow on the floor is enough to like, it'd be a day of running the generator and the dehumidifier just to get all that water back out. So every time I track in and out, I get kind of making a bigger problem for myself. I don't know, maybe I should just cut them all in here. This would be a lot of dust though. Well, I should at least cut the box top too at the same time if I do it outside. Holy crap, yeah. It's brisk out here to just have a thin pair of jeans on, no hat. Woo! Box top. Whee! Gotta make the noises. And this will be the side. So what do we need? Just an end and then maybe some upright supports or something. Oh, we're gonna hinge it right off the wall with the old door hinges. The problem is if I use door hinges for the flip out part of the bed, you'll have that barrel like sticking up and you don't really want that underneath your thermarest. It would be nice to put a strip along the wall, like screw it into the wall and then put the box lid butted up like that. And you could open it up and then you wouldn't see the hinge where it's screwed in because it would get screwed in like this in between them and open up. The only downside of that is the box is only like 8 or 10 inches wide and you'd be taking even more of the opening away by putting that strip along the wall. So I think you're just going to see the hinges. It's just going to be old door hinges. I'll maybe do 3 or 4 or 5 of them and you'll see them screwed right to the wall. But that way when you open the lid, it'll go right up against the wall and you'll have the most access to that box. That's what my brain's telling me anyway. When you make your own lumber with a chainsaw, nothing comes out quite right, quite square. If you measure from that side to the box and the same on the other side there, and you draw a line and then you measure from the wall out to that line and it's like over ½ an inch off. Nothing lines up right. So I'm just using 16 straight edges and 3 squares to try to get this approximate. That's where it's going whether you like it or not. So that is going to go about there. Actually, I'm going to have to cut a strip to put back here too to be able to screw this to something. So strip there, box end there, maybe a strip there and there. Got plenty of scraps in here that should work for that. Can you grab that end? No, okay, I'll get it. Don't worry about it. You just sit there. Face full of sawdust. 9 1/4. I'll just give the box end something to sit on there. Nail our strip like that, and then probably just put one more here because I don't think I can quite screw or nail into that. I guess I could finish nail it, but I don't have any finish nails, I don't think. So 7 1/8. I didn't cut this quite the right size, so I'm going to fudge it a little bit, and I don't think it'll be noticeable. I know what you're thinking, Ryan. You fudging it? No. Can't be. Is this a first? Indeed it is. Well, so much for that dust thing. Perfect. Oops, I forgot to drill the holes in that. This is one of the handiest tools. Have I mentioned that before? I think I did. Just ignore it then, it's not handy. I don't know if you're supposed to use it with an impact like that. You'd think whatever gears are in here would strip out, but I've been using this thing for a long time. Yeah. You can see this big curve in the wall from my homemade studs. Oh, what the heck? I did cut it 1 inch long. Gosh, I'm amazing. See how I think that stuff out? Now I kind of wonder if I did that on accident, because this is not 1 inch overhang. I meant that to be at least 1 inch. Something I measured funny, but that's cool. I like the extra there, so it'll shrink. I don't know, this is what, 8 feet long, 7, 8 feet. It'll shrink ½ an inch, I bet. When everything is the same cedar, it's really camouflage, isn't it? How many should we do here? This is pretty long, and it's gonna have a tendency to warp. Let's do 4 of them. Should we pick the least rusted ones? Oh, they're not too bad. Like that. Let's see. Whoa. Yeah, there's a huge warp. Jeesh. Right here. It's like, that's like a 1/4 inch right there. Yeah, my feet are getting sweaty. Wearing boots indoors. No reason to have sweat in there. Not anymore, folks. Those will be dry in an hour. It's the little things in life, you know? This sucker will definitely get taken off and planed and varnished once it's dried out a bit. It's easy to figure out the placement by just pushing that all the way down like that so it fits on, but if I do it that way, I'm going to end up with a gap in there, maybe a 1/4 inch gap. So I'm going to fudge it and see if I can pull it in just a little bit. Get rid of most of that gap anyway. Hopefully that'll work. If not, we don't care about a few extra holes. Might have to move them. It's definitely a bit uglier with those hinges sticking up, but that's okay. Do you guys just walk around with a chainsaw helmet on all the time too? Seems like the only reasonable thing to do. This one, where it's really sagged down there, maybe we can prop it up or something. Yeah, that's pretty good. That'll be alright. Shoot. I forgot to slide this down just like an 1/8 so it opens, it doesn't rub on the wall. Might have to take this all back off. Well, let's see. I think it's gonna rub. Yep. Alright, take it back off, trim the end. If you'll excuse me for a second, I have to go find some lunch, and I think all I have right now is going to require cooking. So I'm going to go stand in the snow for a little bit. You guys are welcome to come with, or you can just stay in here like a bunch of whining wussies. Your choice. You do whatever you think is right. Nice. See, one more thing that needs changing. I took that trim piece down and I can't put it back up with the way this is now because it'll hit the trim, and I kind of hate to just have the trim go to here and then you see all this garbage. So I'm thinking I might cut this off and screw this part down, and then I just need a new support underneath here. Yeah, why not take the hinges off a 3rd time? There, how about that? That works all right. Nice. Even with the temperature at 60 in here, I wonder if these are going to freeze under there. Is the yeah, the nail heads still all have frost on them. Who knows? I don't even care if they freeze a little bit. It's just that when they get warm and then they get cold again, they sweat. I don't want it sweating all over the floor and rotting it out. Well, I think that's everything that's going to freeze solid in the man cave. There are a few more liquid things, but it was in plastic bottles and stuff, so if it freezes, I don't think it's going to explode. Wow, this is really it. It's been a year I've been working on this, and I'm finally going to sleep in here. It'll be really nice to build a little more furniture in here. Definitely shelves will help. I really wanted to get this flip out thing built here, and of course the flip out second part of the bed, but I just went down to the road. I was going to plow out my parking area and just happened to see somebody going by. I stopped them and I said, you know, I don't have a phone, I don't have internet, anything. Can you check the weather for me? This was, well, when I looked at the report 2 days ago, which is basically like, might as well have been 3 months ago, it said the snow was supposed to end about like 1 or 2 or 3 o'clock today. It's already 5, and the lady looked at it and said, oh, it's supposed to snow all through the night. So it's so light and fluffy. This is the stuff that's really fun to shovel and to plow, because you could get like 2 feet of it and just blast through it with no problem. So I'm leaving it till tomorrow. No sense in plowing twice, but yeah, tomorrow I gotta go see if I can find a new phone somewhere. I can only imagine how long a drive it's gonna be, or I don't even really know where to go, and I can't look anything up. Might as well arrange a little more stuff and then try out my mouse table there. I can drag my Jackery over here and do some editing tonight. Oh, that's perfect right there. Look at that. Like it was meant to be. Dry out the cuffs on my pants. Lovely. Well, I guess for now, until I actually get moved in here, I can keep my extra hats and sleeping. Oh, look at how nicely it fits in there. That was a great idea. Thank you. Oh, I probably shouldn't sit on all this with my sawdusty work clothes, but oh yeah. See, this is what I'm talking about right here. The only way, not that you care, but the only way I can do this otherwise is to set the mouse right on the keyboard so you can't type and use the mouse at the same time. But now, perfect. Gosh, you just have those moments every now and then when you're absolutely sure that life is really good. And it actually kind of feels good to sit indoors. It like feels cozy. It's nice to have a heater on. In the summer, it's like you don't want to be, I won't be in here at all during the summer. Probably 6 months out of the year, this will just be a storage bin. It was fun sleeping in here. You could tell as it got really cold last night. A couple times I woke up in the middle of the night and you could hear the walls popping. I don't know if it's like the board shifting, but I mean, everything outside of this has to be frozen. It's absolutely solid. Oh, and something I did learn, when it's this cold, I have to get a cooler sleeping bag, like not a winter sleeping bag. I turned the heater way down last night because I like sleeping, especially with this sleeping bag, when it's about maybe mid-30s. And I woke up, it was probably mid-40s, which seems a little ridiculous, but if you think about like whatever you're used to sleeping at, go and turn your thermostat up 10 degrees and see how you sleep. I had to turn the heater down even further, which is basically like on pilot. When I woke up this morning, I was perfect temperature sleeping, but I could see my breath, and I'm pretty sure it was basically turned off, which worries me because all the water and everything in here I don't want to freeze. So I turn it back on, and I don't know what it is in here, maybe mid-50s now or something, but well, let's see what the temperature is out right now. Yeah, it's -2 right now. Oh yeah, that's 60 in here, but I'm guessing it took a few hours to get it back up to 60. So when I stay in here full time, I'm going to have to adjust my sleeping bag to whatever the lowest setting is on that. Mid-40s probably. I'm actually curious now. Let's get the thermostat out and look, see what the temperature of the floor and walls and everything is in here. I can feel the cold just radiating out from under the bed. That's interesting. Yeah, let's see what the temp is under there. So, yeah, the floor's frozen. 25, 26 around here. 5, 4, 3 degrees. Yep, the further you go under the bed, the colder it gets. All the way back there, it's 2 degrees Fahrenheit, 1 degree. It's definitely chilly out there. See the frost on the bottom of the door and the hinge. For being as cold as it is, it's still quite a step up from staying in the man cave. Well, I'd say there's absolutely no sense in leaving this place until the temperature's, let's say 3. When it gets to be 3, I'll go plow. Come on back next week if you want. I think I'll put all my stuff back in the man cave for what, another week or something. Get this finished up, get a few shelves, and then that's kind of it. Anyway, enough talking. I've got the book to read and coffee to drink, so hopefully we'll see you next week, eh? Have a good one.